I'm Manny from We Are Change East Bay. I just want to demonstrate something that a lot of people don't even know, and that the Federal Reserve is not a government agency. If the Federal Reserve was a government agency, you would see what you see at the United States Postal Service, what you see at the DMV, what you see at other government buildings, which is, this is government property. Right behind me is the Federal Reserve Bank, and if you walk with me, you can see right here on the floor, around the Federal Reserve Bank.
Did you tell him we were cool?
Yeah, of course.
This right here,
He knows.
this is private property. This is not government property. This is not federal government property. This is a private bank, for-profit corporation. This is as Federal Express. This is not a government agency. For us to call this a government agency is to lie. This is not the United States Post Office. This is not the DMV. This is not the federal building, which says government property. United States government property. This is not government property. This is a for-profit private cartel that, again, is as Federal Express. And these are the people that issue us the currency and the money that we use at the bank.
Love you, bro.
We think that this money belongs to the American people, which it doesn't. This money belongs to a private, for-profit corporation. One of the biggest shareholders of this private corporation is them right there, straight across the street.
Wells Fargo?
Wells Fargo. They have a very big hand in the whole entire Federal Reserve System cartel. Not only do they, but so does Bank of America, Chase Bank, all these other banks that are not even chartered by the American people. We have no say what this private, for-profit corporation does. We can't audit this corporation. We can't look at their books. We can't demand to know what they're doing because they're a private organization. And these people here are employed by the Federal Reserve System. So again, they're not cops. They're not law enforcement officials. These people have never sworn an oath to the United States Constitution of the United States. They're not oath keepers. They're basically just security guards and private corporate thugs. I don't know any other way to put it. They're not law enforcement officers. These guys did not swear an oath to the United States Constitution. They don't abide by the United States Constitution. They follow Uniform Commercial Code, the UCC. So that's what they're here for. They're not here for the United States Constitution. They're here for Uniform Commercial Code, UCC, which is what the Federal Reserve operates under as a corporate entity, along with the banks that you see over there. Again, this is as Federal Express. Federal Express is not even a part of the United States government. This is not a democratically elected office. The Federal Reserve Chairman is not voted on by the American people. He is appointed, selected. And here we are today trying to expose that simple fact. But again, it's been a long process trying to wake people up to understand the whole system. When you try to explain the system to them, it's almost like you're an alien, I guess, because everyone thinks as they go through high school that the United States Treasury is who issues and prints the money, when in actuality it's the Federal Reserve Bank who prints out copious amounts of money, gives it to the Treasury, and then the Treasury then issues it to the American people. So they're like a middleman cartel. Here you get some, 2 for me, 100 for me. 2 for me, 1 for you. Even worse, fractional reserve banking, that's what they utilize. So they just have these gigantic, asset sheets where there's so much money in it that's just a computer digit saying, oh yeah, here's $10 million to that bank, here's $10 million to that bank, here's $10 million to that bank, now you can loan out $100 million. Fractional reserve banking system, Lombard banking, that's what the Federal Reserve operates under. So until the American people learn and understand this entire fraudulent system of private corporate banking elite, and again, I'm not anti-business because I do believe in free market anarcho-capitalism, but at the same time, this is not capitalism. This is command and control, fascist corporations merging with the state. Thomas Jefferson warned us about banking institutions being more dangerous than a standing army because they could leverage debt and buy standing armies. As you can see here, we have a private, security force funded and paid for by the Federal Reserve notes that they just print out of thin air. These guys are not even getting money from the American taxpayer. They're just getting their money directly printed out of thin air by the Federal Reserve Bank's printing press. They need more money, Federal Reserve just prints out more money. They're all set. Federal Reserve prints money, and that's just the way it works. So, unfortunately, they don't even know where they're getting their money from. They think they're like Jack Bauer working for the cops. They ain't even cops. They're more or less security guards. So, again, Federal Reserve, private bank, not public, not for us, not for the American people, but to take money from the American people through the strong arm, the IRS, and give it directly to the bankers. So again, until we wake up to this whole system, I'm Manny from Manny Trev page, just trying to drop some knowledge, try to explain this to some people, but it's gonna be a long haul. See you at the next one.